If I've been part of an audience listening to a speaker or a panel of speakers, and let's say we're walking out from that area, out towards drinks or lunch, I might ask a person walking beside me, I might turn to them and say something like, "Oh, which bits of that do you think you'll be talking about at work tomorrow?" And that's a great question for starting to understand what matters to the person. And it's a great gateway to further conversation if you want to pursue it. If the person says something that ties in with why you were there, with your purpose and who you want to meet, then you can say something like, "Oh, I'd love to hear more about that. Have you got 5-10 minutes to talk now over lunch?" Equally, the great thing about starting a conversation with someone when you're both in motion is it's easy to leave the conversation. So let's say you've worked out that this isn't someone who ties in with your purpose for being at the event. Well, it doesn't feel awkward to then move off in a different direction and bring that chat to a close. Let's talk more then about elegant exits from conversations that you don't want to be part of and entering ones that you do. This is my sixth tip for making networking events more yes and less meh. Lots of people I've worked with in professional services over the years have talked about coming away from networking events feeling flat and frustrated. Yes, they might have found a presentation useful or heard something interesting, but it didn't feel like a great use of time because they didn't have any conversations that could be useful from a business perspective. One of the reasons why people don't meet the people they want to talk to is because they get trapped in conversations that aren't useful to them. And whilst I believe there is a good conversation to be had with most people in the world, if you are at a professional gathering with a focus on business development, it is vital you get out of conversations with the wrong people and into the right ones. There is nothing wrong with leaving a conversation, and it's about how you do it that matters. I know you don't want to appear rude, and I'm sure you won't. I think a lovely way to exit is to thank people in some way and to wish them a good rest of the gathering or wish them well with a project or something they mentioned is on their mind at the moment. And that, of course, shows great listening skills, which we've already agreed makes people feel good in your company. And then you say, "Please excuse me, there's someone else I want to make sure I speak to, and this might be my window." And you might point or nod across the room and then smile and exit. Another exit strategy of mine is to bring someone into the conversation who's hovering nearby or someone who looks like they might need rescuing. You can be the person to introduce them to the people you've been talking to, and then you make a swift exit. That's exits. So, how about getting into conversations you want to be part of or being introduced to people you know are in the room? I find a lovely way to cut in is to compliment one or more of the group that you want to join with something like, "Oh, you seem to be having the most fun out of everyone in the room," or some such observation that makes people feel good. Now, it's got to be genuine and sincerely meant. I do not support making stuff up. Or if you know who you want to talk to and they're already in conversation, you might approach and catch their eye and politely indicate that you'd like to join them and would that be okay? Or you might catch their eye and mouth, "I'd love to talk to you," and hang back but remain in their eye line. Now, if that feels a bit uncomfortable, you can ask the host to introduce you, or you can ask the organisers if they know who such and such a person is and get them to point that person out so that you can then wait for them to become free.